Today it is a stunning morning here in Perth, Western Australia. I'm up very early, just after 4 AM, and on my way to the airport to catch a flight to Auckland, New Zealand. Special car. New Zealand to have a look at Angus Cooper's Coopster. It's a heavily modified Porsche 356. It has been modified along the lines of the Emery Motorsport Specialist, for those of you familiar with that style of Outlaw. We'll get Angus to tell us all about it when we catch up with him and go over the car. I'm sure you'll all agree it's going to be well worth the trip. Well, here I am in the Coopsta with the owner of the car, Angus, who has gone a lot of trouble in recruiting the right people to build a car that is really quite extraordinary, as I'm sure a lot of you will agree looking at the video footage. We're just going for a drive and going to have a bit of a chat to him about the process of building and what modifications were made, etc. So just he might be looking around a bit because he is actually driving, but we'll have a bit of a chat while we're going and see how, get a bit of information about how the car was done. So tell us, Angus, what was the motivation behind building the car the way you have?
Just wanted to build something a little different. Had a standard 356C a number of years ago, and then had a 356B T6, which I enjoyed and concourse, and then I mildly outlawed that, and it kind of got me the outlaw bug going. I just wanted something a little bit individual, and we got a bit carried away, I guess, on the individuality here, but you know, it's been good fun, and a lot of clever people contributed to it, and a lot of time and thought went into it. So yeah, just an individual car, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic. We'll just talk about the obvious modifications, and a lot of that's the body shape. Can you talk us through what the obvious stuff was? Let's just start at the front of the car. Like, the front looks very 1950s as opposed to 1960s.
Yeah, well, look, the biggest overall change to it was originally a coupe and it's now a cabriolet, so that's quite a big difference. But at the front of the car, we cut out the headlights and tilted them back and down and mimicked a 356A headlight style. So we took a pattern off an A in terms of the shape of the
okay,
guards.
so you actually
yep.
Did actually get an A.
Yep, we had an A and just mimicked that.
Yep.
And then we took the skin off the hood and rolled a flat skin, and then took the hump out of the hood up near where the vent goes in for the fresh air vent. Yep. So that was quite a change, and then we put a fuel filler through the middle. Yep. And what's not probably obvious is the car has been lowered. The front suspension was cut out and raised 50 mils or 2 inches up into the car.
That's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Has that affected drivability and where you can drive it that much?
Oh, you've got to be careful on speed bumps and things, but
sure.
Otherwise it's made it a hell of a lot better handling car, because we've got 911 rack and pinion steering in the car. Yep. And the front wheel arches and the rear wheel arches are cut out by 2 inches, so they've been raised to open up the wheel.
Okay, so
quite a change.
Yeah, so that lift of the suspension height is pretty much matches the lift of the wheel arches, and so the car's maintained pretty good proportions, which is pretty clear from the look of the car. Yeah. Well, we're just getting caught in a bit of traffic here at the moment, but we'll get out on a bit of a twisty road in a moment, just up the road here. We're just in the northern beaches of Auckland, and going to see how this bad boy goes around the corners, I think, in a little bit. Yeah, you shall. It's pretty good. Yep. And the doors have been, and sills look like they've been rolled around quite a bit. Yeah, so what we wanted to do was continue on the proportions of the car from the front, where the car wraps underneath through into the doors. I mean, most of you will recognise this style of car from Rod Emery, the guy who started. He's sort of like the guru, isn't he? He's the guru, and he started Outlaws, and he's the inspiration behind it. So, you know, a lot of the ideas we can't take credit for. We've got to tip our hats to Rod and his creative genius, because let's face it, it's a brave person to mess with the 356 shape, given it's already such an iconic shape. A timeless design, yeah, that's right. You've obviously got a Speedster style dash put in it with the eyebrow there. Yes. And you mentioned earlier that nearly the whole car's metal. It's all been done in metal work. It's not like a...
No, the whole car is metal, apart from the rear vision mirrors up on the guards. They're fiberglass.
Yep, so that's like a Spider style or RS style.
You can get them in aluminium, but they're like $380 US, so it's like they're going to be painted anyway, so
sure,
you know, let's make a saving here. There was enough expenses elsewhere.
Yep.
But the dash is just your steel dash, standard array of gauges, but it's got an early 911 tacho in it, which
which gives you it's slightly larger, isn't it, if I recall?
Yep. Yeah, and then a 904 combi gauge, which gives us oil pressure.
See that without interrupting your driving.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we put a start button in just for a bit of fun.
Yep.
Cup holder and a few bits and pieces. Yeah.
It's a nice steering wheel you've got in the car.
Yeah, look, it's funny enough, the steering wheel wasn't that expensive. The horn button cost more than the steering wheel because the horn button's genuine Porsche. The steering wheel is aftermarket. So,
yeah, sure.
You know.
Well, just excuse the bus here as we go going past us. And you've removed the back seats, and I see that you put a couple of glove boxes underneath the panel that's been put in there.
Yeah, just wanted some lockable storage. I first saw the idea on a 911 actually, early 911, and I thought, well, we could replicate that.
And the wheels on the car, they're clearly space savers.
Space savers off a 964 or 944 and one of those type of cars.
Yeah, sure. Which means you've also put disc brakes in the car because of the
So I changed
BCD.
Out.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got disc brakes all round. Yeah, but 356C disc brakes, so we haven't.
Oh yeah, good one.
We haven't gone for anything.
No big red Boxster brakes or anything like that.
Don't need them in a car this light.
You don't. You don't. Oh look, I've driven plenty of drum brake cars that are. The brakes are more than ample for the power that the car's put out, but you know, we'll talk about the motor on this one in a moment.
Yeah.
The actual back of the car, the shape of the back of the car was much changed in that shape. Like the valance at the back's been dropped off and there's no bump up.
We just lowered the valance at the back about 2 to 3 inches because it just, you know, standard height just looked wrong once we'd scalloped the doors underneath.
Yes.
And that required us to put the exhaust through the bodywork because the engine had been lifted, and we lowered the valance even more.
Yep.
And the engine lids had some mild modifications, going from twin grill to single grill, and just some vents put in.
Yep, sure.
And a little early, like a 550 style license plate light.
Yeah, good one.
Yeah.
Yep. And the with regards to the engine, it's clearly got a much deeper throb than most 356 engines that most of the enthusiasts will be familiar with, even though there are a lot of Outlaw cars. So it must be a larger capacity than, it's not a 1600, is it?
No, John Wilhoit, it's a John Wilhoit motor, so it's a standard 1600cc block taken out to 2.1 litres. So John sells a package where he gives you the pistons and cylinders. It's got Carrillo rods, scat crank, special cam, a few things
all the good stuff.
And a lot of work on the heads.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, what about the heads?
Yeah, the biggest work is on the heads. That's the most expensive. And then it's running 44 Webers as well.
Yeah, okay, that's big carbies for a little car. As a passenger, and knowing the cars as I do, there's clearly plenty of torque in the car, you know.
Yeah, it'll pull really well.
Yep. Yeah, you're right about that. And even though we're sitting in the car, you can see and that the car has clearly been, the roof line's been dropped a good, I'm guessing, an inch, maybe.
Yeah, roughly an inch.
Yeah, okay.
We cut the factory hardtop, so it's a steel factory hardtop.
Oh yeah, okay.
We've dropped that by an inch, and we've raked the windshield back about 11 or 12 degrees.
Yep.
So it's a standard size windshield, still fitting in there, but it tilts back a lot more than
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Angus here is about 6'4", 6'5", I'm guessing, and
6'2".
Oh, 6'2".
Yeah.
Look, I'm a little guy, so everyone looks tall. There is he's still clearly got some headroom. So, what have you done to give yourself the headroom in the car?
Well, what we did is we narrowed the centre tunnel on the car.
Which is
right down
there, yeah.
Right down here. We narrowed that.
Yep.
And the seats are actually bolted to the floor.
Yep.
And the seats came out of a 944 Porsche, and they've been fully rebuilt. So they're the standard Porsche Recaro seats.
Yes. With regards to the seats being Recaros, a little bit of a flashback for any of you viewers that are unaware. The Reuter factory across the road from Porsche was actually bought by Recaro. So there's a little bit of a link there where the body would have originally been built as a T6 Reuter body, which the badge I showed earlier in the video.
Yeah, it is a Reuter body. It's not a
Carmen.
Not a Carmen. No, it's a Reuter.
Yep.
So seats would have come out of the same
factory as the body would have originally. Yeah, I think everyone will agree that it really suits the look of the car.
Yeah, it came out really well. It was a bit of a punt, but we think it worked well.
Yeah, and the colour of the cocoa mats matches the seats quite nicely, and the beige basket weave carpet inside the car.
Yeah,
which you've clearly got a lot of in here. For those of you unaware, we're travelling up a road called Beach Road, which is, there's not a lot of flat road and there's not a lot of straight road here, which would be fantastic if there were no other cars on it. I think about 2 a.m.
We'll come back the other way.
Yeah, where there's less cars. Yeah, there would be about 2 a.m. would be a great time to drive through here, especially because I don't reckon there'd be too many police looking at the houses in the suburb. Well, I'll give you a bit of a point of view footage here on the drive now.
So it gets along okay.
Yeah, got plenty of get up and go.
And handles pretty flat too.
Yeah, it does. It's not very often I'm in a 356 where the car is more powerful than the rubber, especially when you're talking modern rubber and their 16-inch wheels. And the car gave a bit of a chirp around earlier, so there is plenty of stick on the car.
Yeah, they're 205, 55, 16s on it, so it's got some...
You've kept torsion bar suspension throughout the car?
Yeah, it's all standard with Coney adjustable shocks. What we did though is we upgraded all the torsion bars to the Wilhoit Racing torsion bars, which are a lot stiffer,
yeah, sure. Yeah,
the Wilhoit bushes.
I wasn't familiar that they made them.
Yeah, they do, and it makes a big difference too.
Yeah, I can imagine.
To the car's handling ability.
Yep. There's a modern stereo and Bluetooth system in the car by the looks of it.
Yep.
And behind, factory style of speaker covers, so that's a nice touch. There's a really interesting cup holder being integrated into the dash here, which sits just in front of the...
So billet aluminium.
Yep. As you can see, the car's been very well thought out and the detail is extraordinary. I'm hoping all the audio's come through pretty good. The car's actually, even with the windows open, there's hardly any wind noise in the car, so there's not much turbulence inside the car.
No, it's pretty good.
Yep. There are some interesting rear vents there to clearly allows a lot of the air out, similar to what in a coupe, what a rear window would look like. Oh, look at this. Hey, back. God. What's the other button do?
It does the front of the seat.
Oh yeah, okay.
So just basically...
Harry high chair now, look at this.
Yeah, it's quite good. I mean, there's pretty adjustable chairs, these. We won't put the heating on though, it's a bit warm for that.
Yeah, good. Which is your clutches are right at the bottom of the travel, isn't it?
It's a 901 clutch setup on this.
Yeah, it's certainly got plenty of stick. You couldn't get... With the setback of the steering boss compared to my own car and the necessity for me to sit forward, it feels like a NASCAR.
Yeah. Well,
the steering wheel's a bit smaller than mine and feels quite nice, good size. It's a great driving car. I know how much time and energy you've put into the development and achieving this outcome that you wanted, but as an outsider coming in and experiencing it, I think you should take your hat off to the guys that did it. It's been well worth it, I think.
Oh, look, it has.
The outcomes.
That it drives so well.
It doesn't feel like it's been put together. It feels like a finished car. It's a good way for me to describe how it feels, But
it handles quite a bit differently to an ordinary 356 as well. It's a lot more stable and sure-footed.
Yep, sure.
And that was just to be honest, a bonus, really.
Yeah. Yep.
Got a clear run now.
Shifter feels more mechanical than mine. It's a much more precise shift than what my own car is.
It's a fully rebuilt gearbox.
Yep. Yeah, the car drives beautifully. It would be good fun on the track if you're a track enthusiast, like everything that's been done that needed to be done to make it a good car,
It's very stable for a 356. The rear doesn't lift, anything like that. It's very good, very trackable.
Yeah, I reckon it'd go pretty fast if you landed out.
Oh, you're doing many Ks right now.
Yeah, we're going to have to leave that part out. Well, it's a beautiful evening here in Auckland. I've been fortunate enough to have a nice drive of this Coopster, which is a pretty extraordinary motor car. And just about every aspect. I really struggle to fault anything that's been done to the car. Even if you're a purist of the 356 model range, you'd have to be pretty fussy to not like the car, or at least appreciate the energy it's gone into its development and execution. It's just pretty much a flawless car. It's got all the power you need. It's got everything works as it should. I can't even imagine, you know, what more you'd want out of a car of this era. Even if you're not a Porsche enthusiast, I think if you took the car for a drive, you'd still struggle to leave without a smile on your face. So with all that in mind, I think all the development and the people involved would have to take, you know, be pretty happy with the outcome. And Angus, as the owner of the car, what's your 2 cents on that type of statement?
Look, it's probably exceeded our expectations on what we hope to achieve.
That would have been quite high too, I imagine, with the energy that went into it.
Yeah. The project built as it went. It originally started out being just this knock a quick car together, and then we got a bit carried away as we went. So,
yep.
But look, it's exceeded our expectations. The car drives fantastic. The build quality has been exceptional.
Yep.
You know, the key people involved, you know, from Dick Mole, who built the car, to Raphael Williams, who built the engine, you know, just fantastic work, so very pleased with it.
Yeah, good one. Great to hear. So, do you want to go and grab a beer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good one.
Good idea.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. Angus.
No worries.
It's now the morning after catching up with Angus and his car. We had a couple of beers, had a great catch up. Unfortunately, it got dark pretty quick, so I missed the opportunity to do the filming I would have liked as he left. Anyway, he told me about some fantastic cars that are here in Auckland, and I'll try and get back here soon to do some filming with some of those owners and hear their stories and have a look at their cars too, which I'm sure you'll enjoy that content when I create it in the future. I'm at the Auckland airport waiting for my flight patiently, looking forward to going home, but hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please like and subscribe, give it a thumbs up. If there was something you didn't like, put it in the comments below, let me know what it was, and I really look forward to catching up with you next video. I'm Mark, this is Marc and Cars.